Good Wednesday to everybody. It is the 7th of August and you're joining me from Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. I arrived safely back on Monday night and this is day 2 of our holiday here. Going to be doing a little tour around the city today, so quite excited about that. Looking forward to it. The temperatures is expected to rise into the 30 to 32 Celsius mark in Rio this afternoon. The average temperature, by the way, for August is around 25 Celsius, so a good 5-6 degrees above the average for late winter down here in the southern hemisphere. But I hope everybody is well wherever you are. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Much appreciated as always. This is the ECMWF total accumulated precipitation over the next wee while. We've got a reasonably deep area of low pressure just to the north of Scotland at the moment, bringing gusty winds and showers and even longer spells of rain, especially over the West Highlands. Further south, the drier you are. But it looks as if we have got a shot at seeing the 30s once again, particularly so across the southeast of the British Isles as we move through the upcoming weekend and into early next week. There is a bit of a deepening of the trough and low pressure west of the UK, opening the door to southerly winds. Looks as if Scotland is, it's pretty much the story of the whole summer really. Scotland and Northern Ireland are going to miss out on any real appreciable heat. That being said, we did reach 27 Celsius on the Murray Coast back on Monday afternoon. It was either yesterday or Monday afternoon, I can't quite remember. But you can see here as we play through the total accumulated rainfall, rather dry across the far south, down around the London area, just to the north, just to the south of the capital. It is reasonably dry up until late week. Look at the rainfall totals mounting up across parts of Wales, Cumbria, and obviously the western side of Scotland. We do have the series of frontal systems associated with a train of low pressure systems moving in off the Atlantic basin, and therefore we will continue to see this very distinct, cooler, more unsettled north, warmer, drier south. And that has been the mainstay of the ideas for the month of August. So this is up until UTC 1500 on Monday, 12th of August, some significant amounts of rain across the south. You notice here the contrast. We've got literally no rain seen by the ECM, really stretching from, what would that be, Portsmouth up to the north coast of Norfolk, for example. That general region here is seeing literally no rain by the model, while we could have an excess of 100 mils up across the northwest Highlands here. So a very, very notable contrast in rainfall across the British Isles over the next several days or so. Looking at the overview chart of the ECM, you can see here how things are. The internet is definitely quite come and go here, so I do apologise if it is causing issues. But you can see here, next frontal system moves through today into Thursday. That clears out. We've got this flexing back and forward of the high over Iberia, generating generally quite hot conditions, but not overly unseasonable for the time of the year, may I add. But with this type of situation, with low pressure to the north between Scotland and Iceland, strong ridging between the Azores, the Canaries, northwest Africa up into Iberia, this is a very classic late summer pattern. You can see here, fairly tight squeezing isobars here, means we've got quite gusty west-southwesterly winds, generally speaking. Then we see a change coming as we have an area of low pressure developing to the southwest of the British Isles. Further east, that's quite hot and humid air moving up from Iberia. We have, like I say, a shot at seeing 30s once again, but some very wet conditions, windy conditions associated with that area of low pressure. Not overly deep, but nonetheless, it's a low that is going to generate some very wet conditions, hence why we're going to see the build-up in rain totals over the west of the UK here. Then we'll see the next feature running through, then another system moving through. So it's basically the same old story. We've got one low pressure system after the other. Looking at the GFS ensemble for the upcoming 5 days, classic ridge under trough situation here. A phase 2 MJO at the moment here, generating some very hot conditions across the majority of the UK mainland, or European mainland, should I say, with this setup here. So the MJO is sitting in phase 2 at the moment, which promotes strong ridging over Europe here and some extension of that over the UK. So looking at the days 6 through 10, you can see a slight adjustment, deeper trough to the west of the UK. That allows a little bit more of an opportunity for that heat to move northwards also. And looking finally at the 11 to 15 day, you can see here that we have got, again, same story, low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south, with a chance of seeing surges of heat up into the southern UK. Not a great deal of opportunity for northern halves of the British Isles. Looking at temperature over the next 5 days, looks like this here. So generally speaking, August is playing out quite well in terms of what I thought. Cool to the north, warm to the south in the upcoming 5 days. Looking at the 6 to 10 here, you can see that we've still got cool, generally west and north, Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and down the western side of the UK, it's generally cool than average. Look at Europe here, especially across central and southeastern areas of the continent, is firmly warmer than average in that period. And then the 11 to 15 day here, it actually turns slightly cooler, seen by the GFS ensemble. So we have got quite a busy day ahead, so I'm going to cut this short. This is the upcoming 7 days in terms of precipitation, seen by the model here. So a wet north, dry south, no surprise there. And moving on to the 8 to 14 day, you can see here that is generally wet in the west coast of Scotland here, possibly northwestern England, but the majority of the UK and Ireland is drier than average. So going to have some videos to show you in the next day or two here, so stay tuned for that. And I'll hopefully be back tomorrow with more. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Bye for now.